All right. Hello. Welcome to a virtual college fair, Potomac Chesapeake Association for College Admission Counseling. Quite a mouthful, but so happy to have you here to hear from our panelists, our experts about their institutions. A few things I want to go over so this can go smoothly. If you have a question for our panelists at any time, please use the Q&A at the top or bottom of your screen. That's the only way that our panelists will be able to answer in real time throughout this 45-minute session. So please use that Q&A button if you have any questions for our panelists at any time. With that said, please pay attention to the chat because they're going to be putting really important information in there, and that is their contact information that they will be throwing into the chat. Again, your microphone and camera off, so that Q&A button is very important. And of course, pay attention to what's being thrown into the chat. This is the last session for tonight for this particular fair, but there will be more in the future at StriveScan. A recording of this will be sent out to our panelists, anyone who signed up, our attendees, and will be on our website at strivescan.com. All of this information I will be throwing into the chat for you as well. With that, and being mindful of time, we're going to kick it off with University of New Hampshire.
Thanks, Christy. Hi, everyone. My name is Evan Beals. I'm one of the assistant directors of admission at the University of New Hampshire. As you get started in your college search process, one of the kind of biggest things that you'll recognize is that place matters. At UNH, we always like to start out recognizing that place matters and acknowledging that UNH is located on the traditional lands and waterways of the Abenaki, Pennacook, and Wabanaki people, past and present. And we acknowledge, thank, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout the generations. In terms of our specific location within our region, we're located in the Seacoast region of New Hampshire. We're about 10 to 15 minutes away from the Atlantic Ocean, about 45 minutes from the White Mountains of New Hampshire, only about an hour north of Boston, Massachusetts, and Portland, Maine, another larger city in our area, located just about an hour to our north. All of these larger cities or locations, as you can see from those photographs on the side panels there, are really important to our students' experience and would be a really big part of your life coming to UNH. Not only are they places where our students find really great, exciting recreational opportunities or a day away down in the city. There's an Amtrak train service that actually connects Portland, Maine to Boston, Massachusetts, right through our campus. And there's 6 round trips every day in and out of one of those 2 cities right from campus here. As you can also kind of discern, you may have really great opportunities for your major, your program, through this location. So you can see marine biology or ocean engineering as a popular program. Our business programs benefit from being so close to Boston, Portland, and Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And then the lakes and mountain regions of New Hampshire provide some really great spaces for environmental sciences, ecological sciences, and all that comes with those spaces as well. UNH is considered a medium-sized institution. We have 12,000 undergraduate students with only about 2,500 graduate students. And this is a really important imbalance and a very purposeful one. At UNH, we really focus on the undergraduate education, allowing you to take advantage of all of the opportunities as an undergraduate student. Coming from a little further out of state or outside of New Hampshire and outside of New England, you're definitely in good company. UNH is pretty unique in the fact that as a public flagship institution, most of our students actually come from outside of New Hampshire. 48 states are represented this current year on campus, and our international students are calling over 70 different countries home while they study and live here on campus with us in Durham. There's over 150 different majors and programs that are offered at UNH. We boil them down into 5 college divisions. There's no like cookie cutter type structure at UNH. So you're not just stuck within one major or one college division here. Many of our students will pick up either a dual major or a minor cross college divisions, where we have students in our Paul College of Business and Economics double majoring in sustainability, or students in our College of Health and Human Services, whether it be in our social work majors or even nursing, dual majoring or finding other areas like sociology over in our College of Liberal Arts. As I mentioned, over 150 different majors and programs spread out across these 5 college divisions. At UNH, you're really bound to find anything that you're looking for in terms of your academic experience. This is where that imbalance of undergrad and graduate students really becomes important. UNH is one of only 20 schools in the country that offers all 3 land, sea, and space grant statuses from the federal government, simply meaning that we offer federally funded research in all 3 of these areas. Last year, we were proud to be among the R1 research institution status, and one of very few schools in the country that does so with a majority undergraduate population. We have one of the oldest and largest undergraduate research conferences in the country, and many of you may be thinking to yourself, how is this going to kind of fit within my program? There's over 2,000 students each year that present their original research. Really what it all boils down to is you as a student working one-on-one with faculty members, getting your hands dirty and doing the work that you're excited to do as you move forward from your degree. There's over 50 research centers and institutes that are right at your fingertips here at UNH. And as you kind of move through those pictures there, you can see some of very scientific ones, like our Advanced Manufacturing Center, the wave tanks in the Chase Ocean Engineering facilities, or even the Ocean Mapping Center that exists here on campus. There's really something for everyone to really engage you outside of the classroom, really doing that work. And like I mentioned, getting your hands dirty and getting the experience within your first or second year here on campus. We are a very traditional residential campus community. About 96% of our first year students live on campus. You're guaranteed housing all 4 years if you'd like to. However, you're never required to live on campus. There's over 20 Division I athletic programs, and from the inlaid photo in the back there, you can tell hockey is a really big deal here up in the Northeast. There's 31 club sport teams, which are also very competitive, and then there's a number of intramural sports that students have access to. But there's also over 250 student-led organizations, so if athletics is not your thing, there's something here for everyone. All of this to say that UNH is pretty much the definition of a small town New England community with the large scale research opportunity reach and opportunities. In terms of application process, we're on an early action or a regular decision timeline. Neither of them are binding decision processes. We accept the common application or the coalition application. The most important part of your application process will be your high school transcript, and we are test optional as an institution, so there's no need or pressure to submit your test scores, as you'll have access to any of our majors and programs and all of our scholarship programs with or without your test scores on campus. I'm going to wrap up my time here just sharing my contact information on the screen. Feel free to snap a picture of it here. I'll also pop it into the chat for you as well. At this point, my 6 minutes is coming to a close, so we'll pass it back over to Christy. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have Towson University.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Green, and I am one of the admissions counselors over at Towson University, currently recruiting in Western Maryland as well as North and Central New Jersey. So just to get started. So Towson University, where we're located in the heart of Maryland. We're about 10 minutes from the Baltimore City line, which is right by the Inner Harbor, as well as where we have our Baltimore sports locations. We are the fastest growing university in the state of Maryland with about 22,000 total students, 19,000 of those students being undergraduate students. And additionally, we are ranked top 100 in a diversity campus. So we have about 49% classifying themselves as a minority group. And it's something really we're proud of saying. And this is just a general image of our campus layout. As you can see on the bottom left is where we have our brand new science complex that actually just got finished this semester, as well as in the middle of our campus of our core is our University Union. That is actually getting finished renovations and will be opened up in the fall. So we're going to be adding a brand new movie theater as well as larger areas for our student groups and organizations to meet on campus. And our campus is a little bit bigger than the image shown. Going off to the left next to Burdick Hall, there's a bridge that'll take you over to our West Village, as well as right up the road is where we have our CQ Arena and a Giant United Stadium where our sports athletics teams perform. And then the arrow pointing right up to Uptown Towson is our kind of out of the community, like popular areas for students to go up and visit. It's just walking distance from campus. We have a 4-story mall. We have a lot of retail and dining locations for students to come out after class to hang out at. As I mentioned before, we're right by the Inner Harbor, so students are more than welcome to go down there for the day. We offer free shuttle systems on and off campus for easy transportation. And then going into our academic colleges. So we have over 60 majors ranging across from six academic colleges with over 100 courses of study. So you get to really tailor into your interests. Our more popular majors would be business, psychology, biology, exercise science, and deciding. A lot of students come in as undecided, but that's completely fine because we offer core classes that students need to fulfill to graduate at Towson. So it allows them to kind of branch out into different topics that they may be interested in and then slowly integrate into a major of their interest. And about organization. So say you're going to Towson with a interest in maybe French when you were in high school, but you want to kind of pursue business, that's completely fine. If you wanted to join a French club or any other club of interest, we offer more than 250 clubs and organizations on campus, ranging in all different topics, as well as we are a Division I athletics school in the Central Athletic Association. And just recently, our women's volleyball just won their 2nd consecutive conference championship, and then our men's swimming and diving team just won their 1st conference championship in program history. And then we also offer study abroad programs in more than 60 countries within 800 different programs. And then we also are now offering a study away, allowing students to take courses at other universities around the state, around the country, and kind of get a feel of the different programs that other universities offer. So here's our freshman profile for fall of 2020 last year. Our cumulative average was about a 3.71, and then our SAT scores were 1130 with an ACT composite of 23. Going forward, we are test optional this year and next year. So those scores aren't required for you to submit during your application, but we are not on the Common app or the Coalition app. To apply to Towson University, you can visit directly from our website. We ask that you submit a $45 application fee, or you can submit a fee waiver. And if you know somebody from Towson, you know somebody that graduated, maybe it'll be a friend, family, maybe even a teacher from your high school, you're more than welcome to have them submit an Alumni Association fee waiver, which completely covers the application fee. And then the additional things that we ask for is the high school transcript and a personal essay. The essay is topic of choice. So a great opportunity also would be to looking into applying to our honors college and using the honors college essay to add towards your personal essay. So it's kind of 2 birds, 1 stone. And then some of the deadlines is December 1st is our early action and honors deadline. You're automatically considered for merit-based scholarship if you do submit prior to that date. And then January 15th is our regular decision deadline. And then optional items, like I said before, SAT or ACT is test optional for us. And then you can submit an extracurricular resume just to see what organizations or clubs that you're participated in high school. If you do community service, letters of recommendation from your teachers or your counselors. And then as well as our ZME profile, which is our social media platform that we use to communicate with students, as well as it allows us to put a name or a face to the name of the students who are applying, and they can reach out to us whenever. And we have a whole chat system to communicate through. Now, keeping in touch, this is just for general information. We are currently doing Tuesdays and Thursday information sessions at 7 p.m. And if you're interested in learning who your counselor would be from your region, you can reach us out at admissions@towson.edu and then also join our mailing list. Once again, my name is Jeff Green, and then I'll be throwing in contact information within the chat now.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have University of Kentucky.
Hi, everybody. My name is Erica Shipley. I am an admissions counselor at the University of Kentucky. Super excited to be here with you guys this evening. The University of Kentucky is a four-year large public institution located in Lexington, Kentucky. Just to give you an idea of where exactly we are, that's probably the question I get the most is where the heck even is Lexington? That's a good question. We are probably about an 8-hour drive from Northern Virginia area. And we're about 3 hours from Nashville, an hour and a half from Louisville, Kentucky, and about an hour and a half from Cincinnati. So it's a really, really good area. We're also about 4 hours from Asheville, North Carolina, which I came to love when I was in undergrad. We have about 30,000 students on campus. Most of those students are our undergraduate students, and typically our incoming freshman class is somewhere between 5,000 and 5,500 students. We have over 200 majors and minors that we comprise into one of our 17 academic colleges. So those can include the College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Business, the College of Fine Arts, lots of different options there. And of course, lots of different things to study. I studied integrated strategic communications in the College of Communication, and I absolutely loved it so much. While we are a larger school, we definitely try to keep our class sizes relatively small, although we are a larger school, so I do like to acknowledge that that number up there, 85% of classes have 50 or fewer students. So you will have a couple classes that are larger, but again, even in those larger classes, we do a lot to make sure you have the resources you need to be successful academically. And speaking of being successful academically, you can see up there, we also have over 20 different learning and tutoring centers. So if you're worried about going to a little bit of a bigger school, have no fear. You will be set up for success through lots of different avenues. We always encourage our students to get involved, as I'm sure all the universities in here would encourage their students to do. At the University of Kentucky, we have over 550 student organizations, so getting involved is a huge, huge part of the experience at UK. And you can see up here, there are a lot of different types of student organizations. Sometimes they have to do with your major or your academic interests. I was really involved with a lot of our community service and volunteering organizations. I just loved being a part of that and really immersing myself in the Lexington community. And of course, another huge part of being at UK is the tradition and just going to a big sports school with a lot of school spirit. So it's a really, really fun aspect of being a UK student, and you really, really feel a part of a community and part of a family. And what I really like too is if you're someone that's maybe not interested in sports, I'll be really honest, it took me a while to get there. You can really feel that sense of community and that school spirit and that energy all over campus. So it can be through concerts or community service events or, really anything like that. So it doesn't just have to be through athletics and things like that. One of the other amazing parts about going to UK is getting to live in Lexington. It's a really, really wonderful city. A little over 300,000 people live in Lexington. I actually grew up in the Northern Virginia area. So, moving to Lexington was really different for me, but it was something I really, really loved. And it's an amazing city. With lots of really amazing things to do, lots of great shopping. It's a great place to be a young professional. So we really do a good job of setting students up with internships and part-time jobs and full-time jobs after graduation and stuff like that. This is kind of our downtown area, and this is only a short walk from campus. And it's also a really good city if you like to be outside. And another big part of the experience of being at UK is that Lexington is the horse capital of the world. If you are not interested in horses, you're probably confused about why I'm even bringing that up, but it really does become a huge part of your experience. So in addition to the amazing sports and the amazing events happening on campus and all of our great majors and minors, you're also a 15-minute drive from Keeneland Racetrack, which is a really famous racetrack in the horse racing industry. And it is a huge part of your experience to go out there with your friends in the fall and in the spring during race season. So it is kind of an extra little bonus thing that you'll get to do. And I know my family really loved being a part of it when I was a student. So just want to talk a little bit about the admissions process at UK. So we accept our own institutional application, and then we are also on the common application. Typically our application goes live August, usually early August of your senior year. And in order to have a complete application on file with us, all we need is the complete application itself, a $50 application fee, and then your official high school transcript. We can waive the application fee if you're on free or reduced lunch or have a situation where that would be beneficial to you. We never want that to be a barrier. So please just keep in touch with our office if that's something that you might need. And we are test optional for the next 3 years. So we're really excited about that. And the test score really is optional. So as far as kind of what we're looking for in a student, we don't have a minimum test score or a minimum GPA or anything like that. You guys can see some averages up there just to sort of show you the types of students that we have on campus academically. But of course, these are not requirements. So we really just want to see exactly who you are. You will write an essay for us. And that, in addition to your extracurriculars and your coursework and things like that, will give us a really good idea of whether or not we think you'll be a good fit on our campus. So please show us exactly who you are. We're really excited to read your application. Just want to talk a little bit more about visiting campus. So we are open for in-person tours, and then we also have some really wonderful virtual options as well. I also made sure to note that we have our first Rising Senior Friday on June 4th. So if you are a Rising Senior and you're interested in coming to Lexington and checking out our campus, we'd love to have you. You can just visit visit.uky.edu, which is up on the screen if you're interested in learning more about our visit opportunities. That's my contact information. I'll also be sure to put this in the chat. And it was really nice to meet you guys, and have a good rest of your night.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Loyola University, Maryland.
All right, thank you. And thank you all for being here on a Sunday evening, no less. My name is Nathaniel Brickhouse. I'm the Assistant Director for Regional Recruitment here at Loyola University, Maryland. And we are a smaller, private, Jesuit Catholic liberal arts school. Those are a lot of adjectives. I'll get into that in a little bit. And what I really like about Loyola is, for me, it's best of both worlds in a lot of different ways. First and foremost, it is a very campus-based school. You're only required to live on campus your first year, but over 80% of our student body chooses to live on campus for all 4 years. So if you get a chance to visit campus or speak with a current student or faculty member, I think you'll get a sense of what a strong community there is on campus. Very warm, welcoming, open, collaborative community. And it doesn't hurt too that the Princeton Review rates our dorms in the top 20 in the nation. So our students love to be on campus. They love the physical amenities, and they really love the supportive community that they join. We are in Baltimore city limits. But what I like about Loyola too is that we're about 10 or 15 minutes north of that downtown Inner Harbor area you see in that middle picture. So smaller campus-based liberal arts school, but with access to a really large metropolitan area. So that opens the doors for a lot of things like research and internships and just fun things to do in downtown Baltimore, while still having that traditional college campus feel and having a really individual education. Size-wise, we're on that smaller end of a medium-sized university with just under 4,000 undergraduate students. We do have graduate students as well. I think it's about 800 total graduate students. So the focus is really on you guys as undergrads. Our classes are very small. Average class size is just 20. Student to faculty ratio, if you prefer that, is 12:1. I always ask about average class size, since that's what you'll be dealing with tangibly day to day. And all of our courses are taught by professors, which I personally think is a very important question to ask. So there's a lot of one-on-one time with your professors. It's the classroom environment where you can raise your hand, be part of the conversation. Your professors really get to know you both inside and outside the classroom. So we really don't have those Hollywood style huge auditoriums. A big class for us would be somewhere between 60 and 70 students. On the other side of the coin, though, we are big enough that we are Division I in terms of athletics. We participate in the Patriot League. Like I mentioned earlier, most of our students will live on campus. But you can see there at the bottom, in terms of breadth of options when it comes to academics and majors, we offer quite a bit. And we have most of the majors and academic programs that I frequently get asked about. So we have a very robust pre-health, pre-medicine program. We have pre-law. We have a business school. We have a school of education. And we have very popular majors like communication, political science, psychology. We also have a few off the beaten path majors, things that aren't typically offered everywhere, things like speech, language, and hearing sciences. We have forensic studies. So if you're interested at all in criminology, forensic science, but you wanted a little bit more of an interdisciplinary liberal artsy version, we have forensic studies. And then we also have engineering, which is not always the case with a smaller liberal arts school like we are. And in fact, we have 4 different pathways for engineering. A lot of options. You don't declare your major with us until your 2nd year, so you have a lot of time to learn more about those options. And every first-year student goes through our universal first-year advising program called Messina, where you have a class in the fall and a class in the spring with the same 15 students. And one of those professors will actually be your academic advisor. So the person advising you through your first year and through that major declaration process is really going to know you very well as a student. They also spend 1 hour a week with you and your Messina group outside of the classroom in an enrichment hour. So they really get to know you on a very personal level. Lastly, on this slide, study abroad is something that Loyola really excels at. Over 60% of our students will study abroad, which is a really high percentage. We have programs really all across the globe. It's very accessible both academically and financially. Your financial aid will follow you abroad. So definitely look into studying abroad at Loyola. It's a really life-changing experience. We do have a lot of visit opportunities, both on campus and virtually. You're welcome to do a campus tour. You're also welcome to do a self-guided campus tour if you can't make any of the specific tour times. But we do have a virtual tour, which you can click through at your own pace. We also have a virtual tour led by our current student tour guides, if you did want to ask them questions and hear about a student's point of view. We also do have a lot of Zoom webinars that look a lot like this. And over the summer, we're going to have a lot of application-based workshops. We call them Workshop Wednesdays. And I'll drop that link in the chat as well. But you're welcome to visit that site and see all the visit opportunities we offer. Real quick, we're on the Common application. It's a very straightforward app. You're automatically looked at for merit-based aid when you apply, and most of our students do receive merit. Our merit awards are fairly high, I think. Our minimum is $20,000 per year, and that ranges all the way up to 30, just on the merit side. We use a very holistic review process, no minimums or anything like that, but a 3.6 is our average weighted GPA. We're test optional, and we've been this way for a decade, so nothing changing. And you can see our middle 50% there. If you're within that or above it, feel free to submit. But if you don't, it's not looked upon as a negative whatsoever. It does not change how we read your application at all. Last slide for me is my contact information, which I will drop in the chat as well. If there's anything else I can do to help you with your college search, please let me know. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you so much. Next up, we have Johns Hopkins University.
All right, thank you, everyone. Welcome. My name is Bailey Jacklin. I'm an assistant director of admissions, and I'm here on behalf of Johns Hopkins University. It's great to follow our neighbor, Loyola, who is right up the street from us. In this time, I want to give you a little bit of a snapshot of who we are institutionally. Johns Hopkins is the nation's very first research institution, the first one to move beyond teaching what was already known and to begin to ask new questions, seek new solutions to social issues, and share those broadly in fulfillment with our mission, knowledge for the world. We are located in Baltimore City, Maryland, right there next to Loyola. And we also have campuses all throughout the greater Baltimore and Washington, D.C. areas. And you can see that as part of the Johns Hopkins University network on the bottom of your screen. The Bloomberg School of Public Health, graduate schools for nursing, medicine, the School of Advanced International Studies in Washington, D.C., which is a graduate institution as well, the Applied Physics Laboratory, the Peabody Conservatory of Music. These are all within the Hopkins umbrella, and our undergraduate students do have access to opportunities and resources and relationships with faculty and staff at those institutions. But I represent the blue bar on the very end, the Homewood campus. That is our undergraduate campus. At the undergraduate level, we are mid-sized with about 5,300 undergraduate students. And we have 2 undergraduate schools, the Krieger School of Arts and Sciences, which makes up about 2/3 of our campus population, and the Whiting School of Engineering, about 1/3. But we take a one university mindset to everything that we do, wherein all of our students, regardless of the majors that they ultimately select later on down the road, take classes across both of those schools in fulfillment with our liberal arts mission. We want to give you a sense of what we look like. We are, again, mid-sized and residential. Housing is guaranteed and required for our students' first 2 years. So all first and second year students will live on campus and campus facilities. After that, students move off campus, working with the Office of Off-Campus Services to facilitate that transition. But on the whole, about 97% of our students live within a 3-block radius of campus, truly getting the best of both worlds from the urban institution experience in terms of culture and opportunity, but the traditional red brick, white marble, green grassy quads undergraduate experience. Inside the classroom, we are all about freedom and flexibility of your curriculum. We have an open curriculum whereby students get to decide for themselves, what does being a well-rounded liberal arts student look like specifically for me? So those of you who know exactly what you want to do, you can dive right in without having to wait and wade through other types of courses and start working towards the majors that you are interested in. And those of you that are open-minded and are balancing a couple different interests, you have that time built in for you and the freedom and flexibility. Every class that you will take will end up counting for you either as a major requirement, a minor requirement, or distribution. In other words, classes that are neither your major or your minor. So you have a lot of opportunity to go with breadth and depth across our 52 majors and 46 minors. And being mid-sized, we have a 7-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So you're going to get to know your faculty very well, which behooves you because the faculty on our campus are the leading scholars in their fields, but they're excited to be on our undergraduate campus to mentor, to guide, and to assist in seeking pre-professional experiences. 98% of our students learn beyond the classroom. We're the first research institution, so it makes a lot of sense there, whether they're doing research formally by using one of our resource centers like the Hopkins Office of Undergraduate Research, seeking out an internship across the city, studying abroad, or learning through service. Our students really go beyond the theoretical when it comes to applying what they learn. Applied learning also is not academic. It comes in student organizations. We are a student-first institution, and just as we give our students a lot of freedom to decide what their inside the classroom lives look like, we do the same outside the classroom. We have over 400 student-led organizations, and I'm really intentional when I say student-led. That means our culture is for the students, by the students. And if you remember, we have 5,300 undergraduate students, which means there is plenty to do across athletics, cultural organizations, religious organizations, fraternity and sorority life, plenty here, both on campus and in our greater home of Baltimore. I'd be remiss to not talk about our hometown. We are so fortunate to be located in Baltimore City. The city and the university give and receive so much from one another. For our students, it serves as an extension of campus with research and internship opportunities. They live there after their undergraduate experience. They're collaborating with students at the other institutions throughout the area through the College Town network of shuttles and buses. So you really are part of a diverse, youthful town throughout your time in Baltimore. A little bit about the admissions process. I can talk offline about what we look for, but I wanted to give you a sense of our dates. These are last year's, but they'll be similar for the upcoming year. We are an early decision and regular decision institution, and early decision comes in 2 rounds, 1 or 2. They're both binding, so it's a great option if you know Hopkins is your #1 choice. If you'd like more time, you have regular decision, which is the non-binding option for you to apply. We're on the common as well as the coalition applications, and we don't have a preference with which one that you use. And the last thing I wanted to add is our commitment to bringing in a diverse campus community in terms of financial aid. We meet 100% of our students' demonstrated financial need through a review of your financial aid application. And the funding that we give to students is grant only. It does not contain loans. So students at Hopkins do have the potential to graduate debt-free. To learn more about us, these are our general websites as well as our social media. It's a great way to get a sense of campus as our students are posting all the time on there. And you can also go to apply.jhu.edu to meet the staff or reach out to me and I can connect you to your specific regional admissions officer. Thank you so much.
All right, awesome. So that wraps up our individual presentations. If I could have all of the panelists come back on camera. We're going to go in the exact same order that you presented, starting with the University of New Hampshire. If you could share with us in your expertise, what is a piece of advice that you would give someone going through the college search process?
I always kind of lead with just encouraging students to think about this process as a match to be made instead of a prize to be won. There's so many different schools out there. You're only likely to scratch the surface with all of them that exist. And you'll have so many people that are providing their input into your search process. But trust your gut, know that there's a match to be made, and sometimes don't get put kind of down the rabbit hole of where your friends are going or where parents or family members or things like that think you should go. Think about that match. Where do you feel comfortable? Where you feel comfortable is likely where you'll find the most success.
So for me, I would say the best advice would be to starting early, because if you don't start early, you're kind of late. Those deadlines that we do show, they're just kind of a placement, but you always want to look ahead of time because it gives you more of an opportunity to go look into different schools, searching the different majors that they have to offer, because you'd be surprised what you can find, certain concentrations that you didn't even know existed. For me personally, I was a forensic science student when I went to Towson University, and it's a very hard major to find at certain colleges. So start early, do your research, but then also visit, because you never know. You could think of yourself as a city person, but then you really find out that you like that rural area where there's not much to do outside, but you're kind of like that community feel.
Yeah, I would say my biggest piece of advice would be to ask questions. So I think a lot of times what I notice in this profession, and I'm sure my colleagues will agree, is that we often throw around terms or jargon or things that we say every day, but we forget that you guys are new to this, and that is totally fine. So please ask questions and connect with your admissions counselor or your recruiter. It's called a lot of different things at different schools, but I can almost guarantee that you can go to any of our websites and go to our admissions page and find a button that says something like contact your recruiter or contact your counselor or something like that. Because that is our whole job, is to talk to you guys and answer your questions and make you feel comfortable about this process and our institutions particularly. So please reach out. We're happy to help. And if you have a question, do not be shy. Ask us what it means, because it's just easier all around for you guys to get your questions answered about all of these different pieces of the puzzle. So that would be my biggest piece of advice.
To echo what's been said a little bit, visit the schools that you're interested in applying to if you can. Maybe you're interested in a lot, maybe travel's still up in the air. So my other piece of advice is take advantage of everything that has had to migrate online, because 3 or 4 years ago, you might not have had an opportunity to do a virtual tour at most of the schools that you're interested in. A lot of schools will do webinars and things with current faculty members and students and parents and alums. So be on the lookout for those sort of things, and just take advantage of everything that's online these days.
And my advice would be with respect to the application process itself, whenever you are ready to take that step, and it would be to take the space that you have to share your story. What I mean is that all of our processes to some extent are holistic, which means we're looking at you as a whole person. And there's information that we can't get just by looking at your transcript. Any opportunity that you have in the application to share a bit about your own personal context, and I want to be clear, this is not making excuses, this is self-advocacy. It is a huge part of our process. We know everyone's lives were uprooted the last year plus, and things in your high school experience did not go the way you thought they were going to. Our professional experiences have not been going the way that we thought that they were going to. And so there is space in the application where you can share that information, extracurriculars that got upended, grades that maybe didn't turn out the way you thought they were going to. We, again, don't see that as excuse making. It's sharing information, it's self-advocacy. And when you get to college, reaching out for that help or sharing that information is going to be vital to your success. So take the time to practice it now.
All right. Amazing advice from our experts. The one thing I like to echo is please take down the contact information from these folks, because again, talking to them is the key to figure out whether this is a good fit for you or not. They are not going to steer you wrong. So please reach out to these folks. If you are here with us live, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us, to hear from their expertise and their knowledge, and to hopefully find or pique some of your interest in any of these institutions. If you are here, when you leave, there is a 4-question survey. If you could fill that out for us, it's incredibly helpful. This is the last session for this particular fair tonight, but there will be more in the future, so stay tuned. For those, you can find a recording of this one, but all of them that happened tonight at StriveScan's website. I threw that into the chat as well. So whether you're here with us right now, whether you're here watching this recording, thank you so much. Best of luck to you. And again, thank you to our experts and to our panelists, and have a fantastic night.